Hi, this is Pete King coming to you with some thoughts on buyer's contingencies. Now, a contingency is usually wrapped up in a contract, but a good realtor will tell you that you probably want to have addenda that lay it out with a little bit more detail and make a contingency more watertight for the buyer. It protects them against the unforeseen. So let's talk about the most common. The most common one is financing contingency. This means that a property or a home can be financed to the buyer through whatever terms they may want. So it might be a down payment, it might be an interest rate, could be that they want a VA or an FHA loan. So financing contingency is one of the most common. The appraisal contingency is usually rolled into this financing contingency. However, it is utilized for cash deals as well. It protects the buyer from overpaying. In other words, the appraisal has got to come in at the purchase price, or sometimes there's a renegotiation. So those are the two most common. Next, we talk about the inspection contingency. This protects the buyer against anything that's unforeseen within the structure of the home or the property, to make sure all the mechanicals work, that the plumbing's good, all those things that the buyer has got to be concerned about to make sure they're getting what they're paying for. There may be repair limits that are included in there. It may be a wood-destroying organism inspection. And so this contingency allows the buyer to walk away if the inspection produces results that they don't like. Lastly, and the most difficult for a seller to accept, is the sale of a home contingency. This is where the buyer has got the home that they need to sell before they can buy the home that they want now. In a seller's market, sometimes this is not an acceptable contingency, and it might be best for the buyer to either rent for a little while or to get a bridge loan in order not to have this contingency in place. Basically, what we want to let you know is that in a seller's market, you are competing against other buyers, and some of these contingencies, although purely acceptable in most cases, could be a pushback, and you may not look as good as the next buyer to this seller. What it does do for the buyer, though, is it helps you make a smart business decision. So this is Pete King, and I'm coming to you from Perdido Pete, Pensacola, Florida. I want you to know a little bit about what contingencies a buyer should be thinking about when they write a contract.